Elijah, go ahead.
Yeah, so what I do, I mean, in construction, I guess is a lot like you guys' bigger projects. I'm thinking about getting more accurate on the budget hours, especially whenever you're doing like bigger projects and take more time and whatnot. How would you recommend narrowing that down? Like I've started to convert my estimates into budget hour form, but I don't want to go straight into the pay for performance until I know I'm not going to be screwing my guys out of money or the other way around, one or the other.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. Like when it comes to larger projects with budgeted hours, you have a lot more variability because things crazy happen. And so before you ever move to P for P, you've got to have accurate budget hours. And so I'm a big fan of what you're doing now, which is like use budget hours to create your estimates. So have an hourly target rate that you're hitting, multiply that by how many budget hours you think the job should take. There's your labor for the job. Then you're adding materials, etc. And then as time goes on, you get more and more confident in your ability to accurately predict budget hours on jobs. And then once you hit a certain threshold of confidence, you're like, okay, I can roll pay for performance out. And then how it works, Elijah, is like there's gonna be jobs where even once you've done this for years, you will mess up on because of weather or equipment goes down or whatever. And you just gotta explain to people on pay for performance. There will be jobs that I budget 80 hours and it takes 100 and you work your brains out the entire time. There'll also be jobs you budget for 80 hours and they'll get done in 25 and they'll also get huge amounts of money. So it's a kind of a give and take there, but the more confidence you can have in your ability to estimate accurately, it's super beneficial. So do what you're doing now, which is just like do budget hours, use it for estimating, and then as your confidence grows that you're accurate on those, implementing P for P, then what that does is it makes the budget hours actually mean something. And that's when you'll actually see them be most accurate. Because right now you're using budget hours to create pricing, but your production, your team out in the field doesn't see that number. And like, or at least I should say they are not incentivized to hit that number. And the reason I can be 6 months out and be putting jobs on the schedule down to the specific day is because I know my crew is paid based upon budget hours.
And so if they don't hit the target, they get paid less. You don't give them like a base rate if they don't hit it like the or what do you
Yeah.
think about that?
So technically speaking, budget hours mean nothing in the world of P for P. They're a way for us to calculate how many budget hours a job will take, but really that is just a function of labor revenue. Because with P for P, they're getting a percentage of labor revenue. Now, I need budget hours to come up with how much labor revenue I need to be assigning to this job. So when I'm going to a project, it's okay, this is a 200-hour job. Great. 200 hours multiplied by 100, there's $20,000 worth of labor revenue. Okay, my crew is making 1/3 or 33% of that labor revenue. Great. Before the job starts, I know that there's going to be $6,600 that's going to the crew for wages. And they know that too, right? But it's not really a function of like, well, if it takes them longer or shorter, it's like there's a certain amount of labor revenue and they get a percentage of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I understand that now. Cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, you got it. And Elijah, if you go to p4psoftware.com, there's a free course on there. You don't need the
Mhm.
software. It'll just walk you through like even before you start running it, what you could be doing just to make sure your budget hours are accurate, et cetera. So go check that out.
Well, thank you.
So if you recall, we do the mesh pool safety fencing, right? And we're the franchisor. But me and my brother Chris, we have started a pool service company right here locally for two reasons. One, we want to start a pool service company. We think it fits with what we do. And also, if it works, we think it'd be a cool add-on for our pool fence franchisees around the country, right? So we're testing out, Copilot to see if it might be a good replacement for the, what the franchisees use currently. We use House Call Pro. But yeah, we wanted to try this out for the pool service to see how it goes. The question is, we've never had run a pool service company before, or really any kind of home service business with repeat revenue. And we're starting it from the ground up. It's from scratch. We're planning on it to be rather high end, and we want our plan is to offer like kind of almost crazy additional quarterly perks that they get with their membership, like free poolside massage once per quarter, or pressure cleaning, or a bartender who comes out once a quarter and makes drinks, or for a yoga teacher that comes out and does yoga classes once per quarter, right? And I've actually already made deals with these folks, or they're going to give these services out for free in exchange for hopefully they get to book them as an ongoing massage, yoga, bartender, photographer, client, whatever, right? So we get to give out these kind of really cool, fun perks, but it doesn't cost us anything. But anyways, the question is, if you got to start from scratch doing a pool service business, and you kind of had this high end clientele in mind, how would you do it? Like, what's the, you don't, we're in a cool situation different from pool fencing where we don't have to change anything. We get to kind of make the dream business from day one.
I would probably look at like a 3-tiered system because what you're kind of offering, most people don't think like today I need to find a pool service that is going to give me massage. They don't think that,
Right.
right? They think I need a pool service. So what I would personally do is just get the gateway service figured out, and then really have an incredible upselling mechanism to get them into this higher tier of service. And so I'm a big fan of staying up market on this, even on the cost of the just doing the chemicals, for example. Like just the basic, I still like being higher in terms of premium. But in terms of what keywords I'm going after in SEO, I'm probably gonna go after what they're searching for. And then I'm gonna have a really good mechanism. And I'm gonna give like a very good compensation model for technicians to get the upsells into these other tiers. So I really like the idea of calling it a membership. And so having the 3 different tiers, I am then trying to get them in these monthly packages it's an ongoing monthly package. It includes their cool, I'd probably break it down to like service. You guys have to install. So
Yeah, we have the pool fence business, but kind of separate, but also not, right? So
yeah. Because I really like the idea that anyone that has a pool, you can sell them the life fence, and anyone that has the life fence, you can sell this other service. So I
yep,
really like that. Um,
us
and
too.
so yeah, so man, I like that a lot. Even for going up, Mark. Yeah, that's good. Sorry, I'm putting together notes for July. That's where my brain was going. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, they
Um,
don't know about the pool service is going to be us local, but we're going to try and
yeah,
expand it to everybody else at
cool.
some point. Yeah.
Yes. So I would really just focus on like getting people in the door and then up the upsell. Like how do I get them? Like if you're gonna go really, really up market, I would probably have in-person consultations. So like they come to the thing that's like, hey, here's your pool service. That's what they search for. Great. Have an in-person consultation, and then you become like a sales organization of training these people on how do I get them from a $100 a month chemical only package to a $399 a month, but it's like the full thing. We throw a party for you, like the whole 9 yards, and you can get creative with that, right? So I would really just my asterisk next to all of that would be go after the gateway service, which is going to be the chemicals and like the maintenance of the pool, and then just have grease the everything towards the higher end memberships.
And besides blasting all the pool fence customers, that's my last question. Besides blasting all the pool fence customers, most effective way to get a service business off the ground from scratch.
Yeah, with pools, what is nice is you can see from an aerial if people have a pool. Um,
Yep.
so I really like a strategy of going
Door
doing
hangers.
door hangers, yep.
Yep.
And I'm gonna get again, I'm always pitching my gateway service. It's like we don't pitch really much more than mowing in terms of door hangers, but we have such a good hit rate on it. Once I get them, I can get 70-80% of them to upsell into something else. And so I would just be going on, looking at that. I would be putting out door hangers, making sure that they only got a door hanger if they have a pool. Very easy to figure that out. And then I'd just, yeah, it'd be an upsell. It's an upsell game.
Do you even mention any of the cool crazy perks on the door hanger, or just leave that towards after they're already in the system?
Yeah, usually they don't need it. Like there's no pain. And so I usually sell to the point of greatest pain. And then once they know, like, and trust me, I'll convince them that, hey, if you spend $100 on me and you're happy, you spend $400 on me and you're gonna be overjoyed. But no one comes to a pool service thinking of those things the same way they don't come usually to us thinking about some of the services that we offer. It's just a matter of I need them to know, like, and trust me, know that they like the services we do, and trust that we do a good job, and then I can get them on also the other stuff.
Beautiful, love it. Thanks, man.
Just
Really
just
excited to have you.
higher. Oh yeah,
Go ahead.
absolutely. Just higher volumes of traffic when it comes to SEO. It's very, very high cost per click if I go after anything besides the gateway service.
Yeah.
So for example, like landscaping, if we go even after like hardscaping or like patio installs, we could be a 5 to 10 times cost per click compared to mowing. So I'm gonna get them in on mowing and I'll sell them the patio with an email and a text message.
Yep. And then we're doing social ads too. Yeah.
Cool. Yep, I love it.
So, like,
Good
thanks. Looking
job.
forward to seeing you in July. And I wanted to thank Miguel for giving me the best show I've seen since Game of Thrones. I really appreciate that. All right. Thanks,
Let's
guys.
go. Who's up next? Gesley, go ahead.
Yes, hi everyone. So again, thank you for the presentation. Now I already have my company 5 years, and we're predominantly transportation and logistics. But our busiest time is toward the end of the year, which is when landscaping and all that home services kind of dies down in that
Mhm.
Q4 collapse. So I figured I could marry the two in so I can have higher revenue throughout the year. And then once Q4 comes, everyone doing landscape can then move to helping me with delivering. That's when we're also busiest. Now, how would I go about it? Because yeah, we have that side already set up, but I don't I don't have any customers as far as landscaping. So do we do door hangers? Or how do I wanting to build a website, or which is the best way to go about this? 'Cause I'd like to kind of already missed the beginning of spring, but I'd like to get this going as soon as possible.
Cool. Just so I'm on the same page as Gezzy, currently you have a business that does logistics, so delivering packages. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Great. So Q4, everyone's buying a bunch of stuff and
Yes.
you're delivering it. Great. Now we're trying to
Yeah.
fill the other 8 months of the year where there's not returns and people buying stuff. Okay, great. And we're thinking
Exactly.
lawn care landscaping. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Um, cool. Now, if I was starting now, I would actually be targeting projects. So because like by the time you get started and ramped up, which market are you in, Gesley?
Hazelton, Pennsylvania. Hazelton,
Okay.
PA.
Like,
Yeah.
have you already got all your trucks and equipment and stuff, or is that like down the road
Yes.
still?
So the only thing I would need would be like mowing equipment and things like. But we already have the trucks and everything.
Well, yeah, you can get that tomorrow. Let's go. So
Yeah.
let's assume that like next week you were starting. I would say you can probably capitalize still on Spring Rush.
Right.
Now, how you market this is important because remember, you're let's just call it 4 weeks into Spring Rush. The only customers you're getting are either A, people are overgrown lawns because they literally haven't pulled the mower out, or
Right.
two, customers that had another service and are no longer satisfied with them. So if I was you, I would be marketing that customer, the one that has a service and is not satisfied. So don't go after like, hey, save time on the weekend because they've already got another service. They're already saving that time. You're going to go after like, are you tired of dealing with X, Y, and Z with your lawn service? Here's what we're going to do to fix that. So just from a marketing play, when you're not at the beginning of the year, don't go after the new customer, go after the existing customers of other businesses. And then you're really just trying to convince them to switch.
All right. All right. That's good. I appreciate it. And then so I don't- do I go like door hangers anyway, and then um which I guess
Which
tool would I
channel?
use for marketing? Yeah.
Like really it comes on to your budget. Also, I would say all of them, right? I want to test, right? I want a great website first and foremost, but even if that site's not built yet, I'm probably going to go going after door hangers. But if you're driving things to online traffic and that website's bad, all marketing is going to look bad because nothing converts. So if your website isn't mobile friendly, if it doesn't have an estimate request above the fold, like all of those things are important. So like I would first go to your website, but then while that's being built, I'd be like probably doing door hangers, driving them to like a jot form or a paper form, which you can build really nicely, see the conversion rates, and then drive traffic that way.
Awesome. Thank you.
You got it.
I got another kind of side project I'm trying to get going with a cleaning business because I like the recurring revenue idea, and most of your ideas, most of what you talk about transfers into the recurring revenue. Uh, so one thing that you had said a while back is like if they can choose their service and then buy it on your website without even like as simple as possible. So I've been kind of trying to come up with an idea. It's kind of half. I've been in the coding trying to do it, but it'll be like where they come on, and then there'll be like the 3 level packages. Like it'll be like the basic package. They might come one time a month to clean. Then there's a couple perks, and then the middle one they come a couple times, a couple extra things, and then the third one, the ultimate super duper. But I'm trying to figure out what I mean. Would you have any recommendation on how I can actually make them check out on the online? Because I can get it to where they pick the packages and stuff, especially if I'm using like if I do your CRM. Is there some kind of way that I can make it like invoice somehow off of the package to the CRM?
Yeah, so not yet. This is
Mm-hmm.
something that once we build custom forms, we will be working on actually being able to pull card information. There's just
Mm-hmm.
a lot more compliance and security stuff around that, so we
Yeah.
haven't tackled it. So this is what I would do, Elijah, if I was you. I would do a form that because like see the thing is you're still gonna need the first visit because you're not going to go to the property, right? That first
Mm-hmm.
visit is in flux anyways. And so
Mm-hmm.
what we like to do if you don't have the ability to collect card information is you sell the job, here's your price, and then just say on there, your first service is subject to change, like subject to
Mm-hmm.
changing this price. And then the other thing I would say is instead of putting your packages based upon frequency, I would do your frequency separate from your packages. So what I mean by that is have
Mm-hmm.
your like good, better, best model, not be tied to
Yeah,
how frequent you show up. So I would
I
have like
got
the
you.
good, better, and best model. They choose
Hmm.
which, and those are related to services or features, and
Hmm.
then they choose how frequent they want it. So
Yeah,
that
I
way
got you.
you have another sales tactic instead of
Hmm.
someone says, well, it's too expensive. All right, well, we'll just go from the gold package down the silver package, or
Hmm.
we'll go from the silver package twice a month to twice silver package once a month.
Yeah.
Like you have a little more room there to move. So that would be my asterisk next to that. And I think you could do that inside the forms too. It's like, hey, instead of starting off with
Mm,
like their frequency, start with like what do you want included and have the good, better, best model and name something cool. And then they
yeah.
choose that. And then from there, they see three prices based upon frequency.
Okay. And also, I kind of had on there just basic percentage. Maybe it might be like 30 or 40% more for the first visit for each package. Like on my thing, it was calling like a setup fee, but it'd be like the first time clean because their house would be dirty or whatever. And how would you like a lawn care? I mean, if their yard is really long, you're obviously going to charge more. But I've seen others where they'll be like, house hasn't been cleaned in 4 weeks or house hasn't been cleaned in 2 weeks. Or like, would you
Yeah,
even add
everyone
that in or
lies on
just,
that. Everyone
yeah.
lies in that. We just say in the first
Yeah.
visit, we say, hey, the first visit is $1.50 per minute per man. For us,
Uh-huh.
that's $90 per hour. If you're less than that, just do a dollar, per minute per man. That covers your butt. And then usually when we bring that up, that's when they're like, oh, actually, it's really overgrown. And I'm like, okay, just so you know, like this is not going to be the price.
Hmm.
And so you can kind of get same thing with the cleaning. Like if all of a sudden like, well, if you're paying a dollar per minute per man, like this one's it's pretty bad. All of a sudden the truth comes out. So it's kind of a
Hmm.
way to flush those out.
Okay. All right. I think that's I lost my train of
Yeah.
thought there. That's it,
No,
right?
you're good. I
Hmm.
would set up an automation. I would set up an automation so that when a customer accepts an estimate, it sends them an email and text message asking for their credit card information. And then that way, when you get an instant pricing form that gets submitted and that you have a price that's accepted, just go into Copilot, make the estimate, and mark it as accepted. Don't even send it, just mark it as accepted. And then it'll automatically trigger that text and email to go to them asking for the card information.
Okay. So you don't charge before, I mean, do you charge before you go there on that first service or you wait
We
until
don't.
after and then, okay.
We wait because on that first service, as long as I have their card information on file, I'm going to knock them for whatever that first service is. If it's like overgrown, in your case, if
Uh-huh.
it's more dirty or it takes longer, so we don't charge beforehand. But not to say you couldn't.
Hmm. So you sell them on the
So
packages and then you just let them know the first one's different, basically. I mean, could be.
yep, yeah, it could be, yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly. And then what you can do is just when the estimate is marked as accepted, it automation triggers and sends them an email and a text message asking for their card information. And how you word that,
Hmm.
Elijah, it's just like, hey, thank you so much for accepting your estimate. We look forward to get you on the schedule. The last thing we need you before doing that is your card
Hmm.
information. Click here.
Yeah.
They'll get them in.
And I've even heard you say that before, and I've even done it on some of the smaller construction ones. They're like $500,000, and I don't want to get 50%, but I'll go ahead and I'll say it to him. I mean, they don't care. I mean, they said something, maybe just something. I'll be like, well, this is how we do it. And, okay. I
Yep.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good stuff. Love it.
I have two businesses. I do junk removal and a house cleaning business. I handle more of the excuse me, the junk removal side. I have my wife that handles the house cleaning. But they're both kind of hemorrhaging money right now. I recently last year I took off, got a job because I wasn't able to pay myself, wasn't able to pay my bills. Um, but I want to really grow the cleaning business. I'm just having a hard time um focusing on it because I'm focused on the hauling because that's where all the bread and that's our bread, our main breadwinner. Where we're able to do
Mhm.
a $10,000 job, make a decent amount of profit. How can I focus on both to grow the cleaning business? Because that's obviously recurring services. We don't right now we've started advertising, but when we're slow or my wife doesn't want to work that much, we don't advertise as much and we're still making that money. So how can I focus on both or divide I guess divide myself into two to kind of
Yeah.
run both?
So right now, let's look at 2024. What was revenue for cleaning? What was revenue for junk removal?
Junk removal is just under 400,000. It was 360, so it was a really slow year, or 380, something like that, or I think it was for something. Then the cleaning was just shy of 80,000.
Okay. So this is not a statement as much of a question. And that is like would it make more sense to deploy all energy towards the junk removal business and get that to $1 million instead of trying to grow the cleaning business? And I guess my answer would probably be that you're trying to focus more on recurring revenue. Is that the main reason going into the cleaning?
Correct. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. How long have you been doing the clean business now, Ricardo?
We started in 2022, but we've kind of started advertising, stopped, advertised again, stopped, and we're just kind of putting pause on it a lot the last couple years.
Okay. And I just wonder if you'd make more money if you just focused on the junk removal. That's my main focus, right? Is like making more money. There's more ebb and flows in one-time projects, and you're feeling that right now.
Yeah.
But ultimately, from just a dollars and cents perspective, at 80,000, we need to triple the business to get an employee. Like we got to grow a lot. And so I don't know if splitting your attention is going to do two things bad. One, you're not going to have enough time to actually fully invest in growing the cleaning business. And secondly, you're not going to have enough time to actually making sure that your bread and butter is sustained. And so
Right.
focusing on one or the other is probably what I would be doing.
Okay.
Because in my opinion, until I have $1 million from one service, I'm not moving on. Like, because there are $1 million junk removal services in your area.
Yeah.
There are $1 million cleaning services in your area. So to think that we need both of them to hit $1 million, we just don't. And so I would personally be asking, like, can your wife somehow support the junk removal business so that you can then focus on selling that then takes the business to 800,000 in revenue. Because it sounds like she's intermittent on work. So like that seems much more of a role that could be like a salesperson or an operations for the junk removal business instead of, being a general manager for a cleaning company.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I don't know. It's a tough one because I understand where you're coming from, like trying to generate the recurring revenue. But many times when we do that as entrepreneurs, we try to split our attention, both things fail.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening last year. It was pretty bad. So yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Because like the question becomes like if she could work with you and work just let's call it on average 25 to 35 hours a week in the junk removal business, allowing you freed up time to go do sales. I happen to think this business grows by a whole lot more than 80,000 in revenue next year.
Yeah, we've done it
And
before. We're getting close to like I think 1 year, 2022 or 23, we're getting close to like 700,000
let's go.
for the junk
One
only.
one thing for recurring revenue, Ricardo, you might want to think about when it comes to your business. I don't know if you saw I did a turnaround for a trash removal business. Did you see that?
I guess I'm pretty sure I saw all of them. I just
The bin. Yeah.
believe so.
Like
Yeah.
they did add generate recurring revenue by adding the bins. That is a whole nother level of trucks and equipment required though. So I think there could be some stuff that you do with the upsells because you're going to create this database of customers. I do think that down the road, even though it's not recurring revenue, you could create reoccurring revenue where you're upselling people into like the second and the third and the fourth service if you do a good job using text and email. So like right now, I would imagine you probably have 1,000 contacts in your database.
No more. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if we're not emailing and texting them every single month, we're leaving money on the table. I happen to believe if you just email and text them inside Copilot once a month for the next year, you would grow the business by more than all the revenue from the cleaning business if you just focused on that. And you're not selling them recurring. I understand it's a drawback, but I can resell them into another job and their customer acquisition cost is zero.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
So circle back with me on this one, Ricardo, in the mastermind. So on the weekends, like as you guys are going through this, or if there's questions and follow up to this, like feel free to hit me up. I know it's like
Okay.
an inconclusive answer, but so
All right,
Katie,
no
go
worries.
ahead.
Appreciate it.
You're good. Katie, wrap us up.
Okay, here we go. So I have not signed up for Copilot yet, but I had so many questions that the salesperson was like, you need to just talk to Mike and ask him your question. So we signed up for Responsivid because we're a window cleaning business in Tennessee. We have been in business for 4 years, 3.5 years. It's until this year, it was just my husband doing the work. And with one truck on the road, we were at 150,000 in revenue with like very little overhead. But we want to scale. We want to have a life. And we have 4 kids. So he's like never home during spring rush. And it's really hard. So we have 4 part-time employees right now, and they're amazing. Like, love them. We got so blessed. And we want to do performance pay. Okay, so I'm like all over the place, but we want to get a second truck. We want to promote one of them to a crew leader to run a second truck. We have the demand, and we can't book any more business. We're completely full we're booked 6 weeks out, and people are saying, no, we don't want to wait 6 weeks to have our windows cleaned. So we have to get a second truck. We signed up for Responsibid, and because of that, it was like, how do we use Responsibid and Copilot? Like, I feel like almost like we shouldn't have done that, but are there people who are using both? And like, is there an automation where people can, like, what I like about it, which you recommend, is the instant quoting. So I don't know if Copilot does an instant quoting. I like that we can do instant quoting. I like that we can kind of set it and forget it. And there's a lot of automations and follow-ups. And then I'm wondering if there's a way to connect like with Zapier or something. When somebody accepts a bid, it automatically puts them into Copilot. Oh my gosh, there's like a horrible thunderstorm. Can you hear that?
You're good.
That
You're
was
good.
crazy. Okay. So I don't know, like, do we need both? Do we just need Copilot? What do you recommend?
Yeah. So first off, I would say I don't see the constraint of the business is getting leads. So I first want to focus on
Right,
like, why is the business not growing currently? It has nothing to do with getting more leads. And
right,
so like if you were asking like a marketing question, we're like, wrong constraint, right? So the constraint here is management of the team. And
right.
this is why the dispatch board is important, automations are important, etc.
Okay,
When it comes to Responsibid, how I would look at it if I was you, Katie, is everything up until the job getting accepted is Responsibid. If that's a system you like the fact that it's already plugged in your site and good to go. Once the job is accepted, you get notified. Now, yes, there's likely a Zapier integration that will connect an accepted estimate and just pull their information over into Copilot. That is likely
okay,
to occur. I will say you will probably save about 20 seconds on that connection. So
okay,
like unless it's going to save you a lot more than 20 seconds, which I don't think it will, because literally be copy and pasting their information, I would just have
okay,
Responsibid send you, hey, this is an accepted estimate. Great. I will copy that into Copilot. And as soon as I make a new contact, it can have the automation start flowing in there to get their card information on file, set them up for service, and just set up your sequence automations to be initiated on new contact added, for example, or estimate accepted. And then you kind of pick it up from inside of Copilot. And you can even like attach like a screenshot, for example, of a Responsibid form that was accepted into their customer profile. So
okay,
that's what I would look at. Is like I think about like this is leads, and then once they accept, I'm gonna do project management, which is all their
okay.
jobs, scheduling, etc.
Right. And then we can do the P for P inside Copilot. One question about P for P is, does that replace payroll? Do we need a payroll servicer, or can we use the P for P to run payroll and pay our people?
Correct. So it does not run payroll in the form of like doing workers' comp, employee sales, or employee taxes. Like it doesn't do any
Okay.
of that. So you still are going to
Okay.
need a processor, whether it be QuickBooks or Gusto, etc. You're still
Okay.
going to need that. But what it will do is give you exactly what to put in there. So it'll tell you, hey, put
Oh,
this as your base pay, put this as the bonus, and like the deductions, etc. It's all built so you can just like within 10 seconds put it into the payroll system.
okay. So you just manually have to transfer the information over however frequently you pay your people. Okay.
You got it.
Cool. Thank you.
You want another one? Sounds like you got several there.
Who, me?
Yeah, another question. Or are you good?
Uh, yeah, I actually do have another question. It's kind
Go
of a
ahead.
personal question.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So my background's in marketing. I used to run influencer marketing and PR for a company that sold to Nestle for $2 billion. So I'm a good marketer. I decided I'm really similar to you. I was just listening to your P4P book, and I'm in nursing school right now. I'm in graduate school to become a nurse practitioner because I wanted to open a functional medicine practice,
Cool.
which I love. It's my passion, but I also feel like this business is what's supporting our family. So I don't know. It's like an opportunity cost question. How did you know that it made sense to stop pursuing your medical career and start doing home service?
Cool. Okay. Oof. I'm careful how I answer this because I don't think it applies to you a whole lot because you have 4 kids. So I would say it's a rank of priorities, right? So
Yeah.
obviously you have a passion for health and medicine. That is somewhere on the priority list. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that your kids and your family is above that. And then it's a
Yeah.
function of is providing for them and making more money gonna be at risk by going and doing this medicine thing?
Hmm.
Or is it short-term pain and then long-term gain by getting the medicine thing? Um,
Right.
and so I very infrequently tell people to put their dreams on pause. But for me, I was willing to put the pause on a dream of doing medical stuff because my passion for it was less than my desire to stay out of debt, be able to provide, and do something I enjoyed doing that I knew forever I would enjoy. I didn't have the
Yeah.
same confidence that I'd be doing surgery and loving it for the next 40 years if I did the same 4 procedures. And so
Okay.
I kind of actually end up questioning my passion for it, given what I saw on the horizon with technology and with the insurance companies. So
Right.
that's my big asterisk is like I didn't actually my passion dropped as I looked into the future. Um, I would say that in the short term, it's a pretty easy answer from an economic perspective to focus on the business. Like if you're good at marketing,
Okay.
you can drive sales, you can grow the business, and then the thing that you want to be careful of is will you resent the people that you're sacrificing that for in 10 years from now if you sacrificed for their making more money for them, but now you don't have that degree that you are passionate about. And
Right.
so that is the algebra. And I think you're the only one like, will you resent them and regret not getting this? And if so, take the short term L financially to be able to have the long term win, just from a goals perspective.
Okay. Yeah, that's super helpful. It's like it's so hard to it's so hard to make those decisions when, but I was thinking like that the business can be the catalyst. Like if we grow this business huge, it can give us margin in our life so that we're not scraping by so tightly in order to, and even just in time, not even financially, just like the amount of time that's in a day. And so,
Well, and the thing is too, like back to what we were talking about earlier with like diverting attention between two different businesses. I happen to
right,
think that when you're diverting between like being a mom, running the business, and a student, you might do poorly in all three versus like, okay,
right,
I'm just gonna go all in this business thing, and then I'm gonna build a business that makes a bunch of money. And I happen to believe that if in 5 years, then you went to college, you might or got that degree and did the nursing thing, you might enjoy it more, knowing that like you financially are a little more secure. So
yeah,
like it's probably prioritization of which of your
hmm,
highest, passions, like what's the most important to you. And if
yeah,
I would be a big fan of like 3 years of the business, heads down, grow this thing to 600,000, allow it to be a little bit more passive by having employees, and then you're going to, move on from there.
okay. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Well, that's all we had for today. I will see you all on the Facebook group. I will see you on the mastermind. If there's any questions whatsoever, I can help you with. Always feel free to put in there. Literally, I'm going to be doing this one here in like an hour, the next mastermind. So feel free to put a question there if I didn't get to it today. But I love you all. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you guys grow your business inside Copilot, and we'll see you in the Copilot universe.